Are you your brother's keeper? That's a good question, and it's a familiar cliche. Am I my brother's keeper? And it goes back to the story of Cain and Abel, when God had taught them how to sacrifice, but Cain improvised, and he offered up a bloodless sacrifice instead of the lamb that he was supposed to. Well, God rejected his sacrifice while accepting Abel's sacrifice. And in Genesis 4:8, the Bible says, "And Cain talked with Abel his brother, and it came to pass when they were in the field that Cain rose up against Abel his brother and slew him. And the Lord said unto Cain, Where is Abel thy brother? And he said, I know not. Am I my brother's keeper?" What a smart answer, huh? And what a selfish attitude. Am I my brother's keeper? And that's really an age-old question. This week we've been talking about the personal accountability. We've been talking about the partnered assistance. Thirdly, we've been talking about the priestly assignment. If you're a child of God, you're a priest and you have an assignment. And I have an assignment to be my brother's keeper. You know that God has appointed this as a way for our happiness? Honestly, the caring and the serving Christian is the happiest. I know for a fact I am happiest when I am serving. It's so fun. And you know, it's a great day when a Christian learns to stop saying, what can I get? And what can be done for me? Oh, what a dead end that is. And oh, the joy of helping other people. You know, God knows that our happiness is staged upon helping other people. Now, God could send an angel down from heaven to do all the ministering. In a local church like that, he could send down his angels to do all the serving. They could pay for the buildings, you know, and do all this stuff. But no, God doesn't do it that way. God lets us do it. And it's kind of like killing two birds with one stone. We get to minister, and we get blessed along the way, and we find happiness as we get out of ourselves. Now, secondly, when we're a brother's keeper, it's our way of doing something directly for Jesus. Now, wouldn't it be great to take Jesus out to eat today? You say, man, I'd love to do that. I'd love to have him over to my house to eat. Well, you know, in Matthew chapter 25, he's talking to some folks. He says, I was thirsty and I was hungry, and you fed me and you gave me drink. And they go, when? And he said, insomuch as you did it unto these, the least of my brethren, you did it unto me. There's a way to do something directly for Jesus today that we can't see him, we can't touch him, we can't hear him audibly. And he's at the right-hand throne of God right now. And you say, well, how can I minister to him? By ministering to others, by reaching out to others in our society. And along the way, just watch that heart get enlarged. Because Jesus said in Luke 12:34, for where your treasure is, there will your heart be also. You say, what's he mean? Well, whatever you invest in, whatever you pour yourself into, your heart follows. Where your treasure is, there will your heart be also. Now, there's a third reason that we should be our brother's keeper. And that is, it's really God's only way of doing it. Honestly, God has no hands but ours. God has no feet but ours. God has no tongue but ours. We are the only gospel some people will ever see. And God has so ordained it that people can't be helped unless we help them. Stop and think about that. In Matthew 25:40, the Bible says, the king answered and said unto them, verily I say unto you, insomuch as ye have done it unto one of the least of these, my brethren, ye have done it unto me. Now, there are 7.5 billion people in this world. I can't help everybody. You can't help everybody. But I can help one person, or I could help a dozen or dozens of people, right? And we could say, oh, if I could have just been there at the time that Jesus was hungry there in John 4 as he sat at the well at Sychar on the edge of that well, and the Bible says he hungered. And if I'd have just been there, man, I'd have fed him. I'd have invited him over to my house. Well, you can't do that now, but you can do that for other folks. You can help them out. You can be your brother's keeper. You know, 1 Peter 2 and verse 9, it says, but ye are a chosen generation, a royal priesthood, and holy nation, a peculiar people, that you should show forth the praises of him who hath called you out of darkness into his marvelous light. So we have been a chosen generation, a peculiar people, to show forth the praises of him that called us to salvation, that called us out of the darkness and into his marvelous light. You know, the Good Samaritan is a familiar story in the Bible. And Jesus made a strong point in that story about us being our brother's keeper. So if Jesus was to walk into, say, this church building today, the Fargo Baptist Church, or maybe during the next church service, he walks in hungry, and we'd be falling all over ourselves saying, oh, I get to take him out to eat. I get to take him out to eat. Well, you know, there's a number of people that would love to go out to eat with us, that would love to fellowship with us, that we could befriend, that we could have over, that we could reach out to. And not just the people that we're used to doing that to, but people maybe out of our little clique, on the fringe or even the other side. It's really being our brother's keeper, and it's really living to serve. I'm thinking of a missionary right now who took a group of Bible college students over to a Southeast Asia country, and over there they don't have bathrooms like we have here, quite honestly, and they don't have what we call commodes or toilets. They have squatty potties. I'll just let you think of that with your imagination. But the bottom line is, there was a college student over there who used a squatty potty and missed and made a mess and just left it. And a missionary friend of mine walked into the restroom, and this other missionary was cleaning it up. And the missionary said, how come you're doing that? He said, well, somebody needs to do this. That's pretty humbling, isn't it? And it's pretty unselfish. But whoever did that mess and left it, how selfish they are. And what a sad mentality that is, that I don't care if I made the mess, somebody else can fix it, somebody else can clean it up. Selfishness. It's really the mother of all sins, or at least the twin sister of pride. You know, there are so many ways that we can help others out. If we would just want to be used in the life of somebody to make a difference, we could. We don't need a title. We don't need a position. We just need to want to be used. You know that servanthood is love in action. And we will really never be happy until we're thinking of other people. For example, as a pastor, honestly, I could visit nursing homes and hospitals 24/7. And I wish I had the time. But I already have a list of things that I can't get to, and it's getting longer all the time. But you know, any Christian can go up to the nursing home, and any Christian can go to the hospital. Any Christian can do those things. So in closing, are you your brother's keeper? Am I my brother's keeper? Well, you know what? God's invested so much in us. And it would be the essence of selfishness to just squander all that. Here's Cain. And he has this attitude. Am I my brother's keeper? Well, the answer to that is yes. And my charge to us today, my challenge to us, is to let our lives now make a difference. Jude talks about, and of some having compassion, making a difference. We can make a difference. After all, we should, because we are our brother's keeper.